All right, welcome back to Just Car Guys, the show where me and my dad talk about the latest and greatest car news and car stories from the last week.
As a reminder, I haven't seen any of the content that Anthony has prepared for us today, so looking forward to seeing what you've brought.
And today's an interesting one. As you know, we did miss an episode last week. I wasn't feeling too great. My voice was a little messed up, so we couldn't record. So we've got quite the highlights to cover this week. First up here, the 2022 Ford Expedition gets a refresh. All Expeditions feature the EcoBoost twin turbocharged 3.5-liter V6 pushing 380 horsepower in the XL, STX, and XLT, and 400 horsepower in the limited, King Ranch, and premium models. With this, Ford has also expanded the Timberline nameplate, bringing it to the Expedition alongside the Explorer, which released earlier this year. This gets things like increased ride height, 2-speed transfer case, underbody cladding from the F-150 Raptor, and the trail turn assist system found in the Bronco, which is pretty cool.
That's cool.
You can also expect some styling changes to differentiate the Timberline from the rest, with some special orange accents and black accents in other locations. This is really interesting. Look at that screen. Yeah. Tell me what's weird about that volume knob. I don't understand.
Well, is it?
That's a physical knob.
That's awesome.
You like that?
Yes, I do.
I hate it.
Here's why. Now, I mean, it looks a little bit goofy, so you could question the execution of it, but you know, one of the things that I am increasingly concerned about with the movement to having just all screen activated buttons and things like that. When you're driving, let's say you're on a road trip, you're supposed to be watching the road, right? And in our very basic vehicles, you know, like the Jeep that we've got as an example, I don't even have to look to adjust the volume, to adjust the air conditioning, hot or cold or high or low. You don't even have to look. You can just do those things. So I personally feel like there's a couple of things that they should still leave as physical buttons because of that nature. The things that you use the very most: volume control and your climate control. Those things should be out and about. That way you can grab them very quickly and change them. A lot of times you want to change it really fast, you know, like your volume.
That makes sense.
You've got it up, or you hear a song you like, you want to crank it up.
Yeah. You
don't want to have to push a bunch of buttons to get to it to then turn it up, you know, like that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I see what you're saying.
So I don't mind it. Now, the execution of it, again, it's kind of weird the way it is, but I like the fact that it's a real button. I had a rental car recently where it was volume control was you had to tap. It was absurd. And I wonder, like, hey, we're in Colorado, you know, when it's cold out, you got some gloves on. Is that really going to work well? Like, I don't know.
Just touch screen gloves, probably.
Yeah, I just feel like there's a few that they should leave alone so that you can actually use them while you're driving.
I guess that makes sense. You got a point there. So then with this, there's also the addition of the Stealth Edition, and this gets a 440 horsepower version of the EcoBoost V6 and tuned suspension for a focus on driving enjoyment. The Expedition also gets the option of Blue Cruise and tons of other features like road edge detection, lane centering, speed sign recognition, and more.
Okay.
So honestly, pretty
that thing was cool. Yeah, a Stealth Edition as well. How about a Raptor Edition?
That would be awesome.
A Raptor Expedition? Come on.
Sick.
Why not?
They should do it. More on that later. Raptor's coming to another vehicle.
Oh, great.
Stay tuned.
Sweet.
So next here, the last new Toyota Tundra debuted 15 years ago.
Okay.
And now we finally have a new one. Here is the official reveal of the 2022 Toyota Tundra. There are many updates to the full-size pickup. For example, the Tundra has swapped its leaf springs for coil springs in the rear, with even more options like electronically controlled dampers, air springs, Fox dampers on the TRD Pro model, tons of stuff. The Tundra sports a twin-turbo 3.4-liter V6 producing 389 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque, and is attached to a 10-speed automatic transmission. There's also an available hybrid version called the iForce Max, which comes standard on the TRD Pro. The hybrid makes 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque. The Tundra can also tow up to 12,000 pounds and has an available 360-degree camera, comes in rear-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, and significant interior improvements, as you can see here. The 2022 Tundra will go to market by the end of the year in SR, SR5, Limited, Platinum, 1794, and TRD Pro models, with iForce Max coming a few months later.
Interesting. You know what? Like,
I like it a lot.
Yeah, they've done a good job with that.
Great job.
And I kind of like, can you go back to the interior shot for a sec? So you can tell it's all been updated, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it looks rugged. A lot of times,
Yes.
we're taking the interior appointments to more luxury and refine. And this looks a little more tough,
Agreed,
which is cool.
100%.
Like that's great.
And this isn't even this is the limited, I believe, interior.
Yeah.
The TRD Pro interior is something
Oh, yeah,
else.
I'm sure
It's awesome.
I'm sure it's awesome.
What about that screen there, too?
Well,
Little. It's not horribly integrated.
No,
I like it.
They've made an attempt.
And they did what you want. They still got
You
the
still got some
physical
buttons
volume
for
and
volume and temp controls.
climate control, but it looks like everything else is in that screen there.
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah.
Here's the rear end, too.
The front end, it's kind of grow on me a little bit. I'm
Really?
not really sure on it. Yeah, I don't know.
Really?
Well, just all the black on the grill, like the whole thing. I feel like they could have brought some of the body color into it and integrated a little better. But I mean, you need all that cooling and everything for all the power these things are putting out. So
I think it's awesome.
that looks good. I mean, it helps in the. I'm assuming this is a launch color for them or something, because that's
yeah. Looks good.
It's a good looking color. It looks like a Mazda red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, as we were speaking earlier, Ford has confirmed that we are getting a Bronco Raptor.
Sweet. Yeah.
So personally, I think we should get the normal Broncos first before we start going too crazy here. But Ford CEO Jim Farley confirmed this via a tweet with a teaser video showing the off-roader. According to Ford, the Bronco Raptor will debut sometime next year, and of course features suspension upgrades, a more aggressive look, and a more powerful engine. All the Raptor.
I'm sure that thing's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Now, I'd still like to see like I said, the other Bronco in person, but
So I was in the middle of nowhere, Texas and New Mexico this past week, and there's a small Ford dealership in this really small town, and there were two full-size Broncos sitting out front.
How do they
I couldn't
look?
believe it. They were
Did you stop
not
and
like
check 'em out?
what's the big one, the Sasquatch edition,
Yeah.
is the really, high end with the bigger tires and all that. They were not that. It was the more entry level.
yeah.
So the tires are a little bit smaller. It kind of needs the bigger tires. Like
Yeah.
they didn't look as cool as I was hoping. Like
It's
I'm
kinda
really
like-
excited about the
I
vehicle,
mean,
but
It's kind of like a Wrangler, though.
that's
or
true.
Like
I
a
mean,
Gladiator.
a lot of the
On the stock,
Gladiators,
on
especially
the stock wheels and
yeah.
tires.
It's just tough. Yeah, they obviously they look better with the bigger wheels. Yeah, they were pretty cool. I didn't like pull over and go check them out or anything, but yeah, I bet the Raptor is going to be a whole other level.
Sick.
So that's cool.
So cool. I think they should put Raptor on everything.
They should.
Give us an off-road version of all the SUVs and trucks.
Yeah.
Raptor would be awesome. The Acura RDX is getting tweaked for the 2022 model year. The focus for the new RDX was on added standard features across all trims and a higher attention to making a quiet cabin. Next year, get some slight styling changes, make the front end just a little more aggressive, and receive some new color options across the trim levels. The RDX engine stays the same with a 272 horsepower turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine and a 10-speed automatic transmission, with front-wheel drive remaining standard and SH all-wheel drive as an option. That's one of the super handling all-wheel drive is what they call it. Acura noted that the driving modes have also been retuned for a much bigger difference between comfort and sport modes. The interior also gets a refresh featuring much more deluxe materials and technology options. The limited edition PMC edition, built at Acura's Performance Manufacturing Center, will be a fully optioned advanced A-spec trim. There will only be 200 built. You can get one matching your NSX too.
Nice.
Pricing has yet to be released officially, but Acura says the entry level should start around $40,000.
Wow, that's not bad. I'll tell you what, a lot of times,
I like it.
you know, so many of these like next level luxury, you know, manufacturers, they nickel and dime you for all of the options, packages, and in different pieces.
Yeah.
But Acura has done a great job over the years where you get a lot for, you know, whatever they package it all up. There's not a whole lot of options, which maybe some people want a little more individuality, right? And maybe people aren't interested in that, but it's kind of refreshing to be able to just say, hey, you know, I want this upgraded trim level, and it just comes with everything.
I love that. Yeah, they've got like 3 trim levels.
Yeah.
And you pick one of them, and you get those things, and then there's a bunch of other options, but the little things.
Kind of cool. Yeah.
Check out that steering wheel. Look at all the buttons on that.
I like the interior of that. I like the front grille on that too.
I like it.
Oh, good looking car.
All right.
SUV.
Now,
good looking SUV.
there you go. Now, up next here, this is pretty awesome and something I am personally very excited for. As you know, Ken Block's contract with Ford recently expired, leaving everyone to wonder where the Daredevil will go next.
Okay.
Ken Block has officially signed with Audi to help develop the brand's electric vehicles. First of all, awesome picture. You got the
great.
S1 rally car there. You got that crazy Dakar, a vehicle we were talking about.
That's electric,
powered,
right?
Yeah. Well, electric, powered by the generator, which is a race car engine.
Right.
So in a statement, Ken said, quote, "Audi is the brand that ignited my passion for motorsport. I'm extremely excited to start this new chapter. Together we will develop innovative projects and push the boundaries of electric mobility." End quote. Ken also then said, quote, "It is also about performance. I love anything that makes me go faster. Electric cars can do that. And as far as sound goes, I have kids who don't care about that. They think the sound of electric cars is just as cool as the sound of internal combustion," end quote.
Really?
Interesting.
Okay.
Neither Ken Block or Audi have discussed any specifics of the partnership, of course, but I can bet you this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be very, very cool.
So cool.
What do you think ignited his passion? It was probably the original Quattros.
Oh, it has to be. Like the
that's where
Group
it
B
started. Yeah.
original stuff, seeing that on TV, has to be.
Yeah, that's cool.
So awesome.
Nice.
Next up here, Porsche is giving us more electric cars, but this time it is changing an existing model and solidifying the existence of another. The 2025 Porsche 718 will be fully electric and separate from the 911, which Porsche also said will retain its combustion engine past 2030 and may not even ever become a hybrid.
Nice.
Isn't that
That's
interesting? Awesome. I could totally, just complete side note here, I could totally see Porsche doing something. They still sell the 911, and then you can get on like a subscription plan where every month they send you a can of their hydrogen e-fuel, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And people with like that kind of money, I'd totally do that.
Yeah.
It'd be sick. Because, I mean, you're not going to be able to get it at gas stations. So, hey, Porsche, I got an idea for you. Try that out. I think it'll work. The 718's design the new 718's design has been previewed by this beautiful Mission R concept and gives a good idea of what a production 718 could look like without all the crazy aero and aggressive styling, of course. Even with the vehicle being electric, Porsche is aiming to make the car weigh less than 3,650 pounds. For perspective, the base Taycan weighs 4,568 pounds and the Turbo S, 5,199 pounds. So that would be interesting. So they're definitely trying to keep it lightweight. The base is expected to feature one rear motor, and eventually another one is added in higher trims to the front axle. Total horsepower is expected to also be up in the current 911 territory. We'll see more details about this as we get closer to the official launch sometime in 2024.
Wow.
Interesting stuff.
So a couple of things. I called it earlier that the bones of this car could be a production vehicle.
You did.
Right? So awesome that they've announced that. I am really anxious to see how they pull this off, because they have always taken, whether it was started off with the Boxster and the Cayman and now the 718, they've always taken those, and at least a lot of the enthusiasts believe that they've detuned them just to keep them a step lower than the 911, right?
I've heard that, especially
And-
about the Cayman GT4.
Right,
You're
just
like, this
all of
doesn't-
those.
like, I
it
feel
gets
like
you
there's
close.
more
It's
here.
like 80% of the GT car, but it's
Yeah.
still not the GT3. So how are they going? Because obviously the performance is going to be staggering on these things,
Oh, yeah.
right? When they get electric going, and so how will they keep, I guess, the bread and butter of the 911 kind of alive and still have, the
products.
performance on the 718
Yeah.
where they want it to be. Although, let's be honest, the 911s have continued to get larger, continued to get more, to be more of like a Grand Tourer,
Yeah.
right? And so, for the sporty driving, the 718 is becoming more and more appealing for many.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, wow, good stuff. That's
So
great.
awesome.
And
I
how
love-
about the move to just say, hey, we're probably not going to make the 911.
That's bold.
electric.
That's
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
That is cool.
I bet, especially all those die-hard purists out there are like scraping. They're
High
so
fives and
excited.
parties.
Everyone's, yeah. So, we have more updates about Mercedes pulling most of their V8s out of the United States for the next model
I
year.
remember you saying that, yeah.
So back in August, reports came out that Mercedes was removing almost all of their V8 models from the US market due to, quote, various global, external, and internal requirements, as well as several other factors, including but not limited to challenges in the supply chain. Well, Road and Track spoke to Philip Scheimer, who oversees Mercedes AMG, Maybach, and the G-Class, and in this interview, he said, quote, I cannot provide you with more details. It's a quality issue. We are updating our vehicles every year, and we are not satisfied with the quality, and for us, quality is first.
Wow.
So we have to do some retesting, and this is the process we're in at the moment, so it depends from model to model, end quote.
Quality issue.
So he declined to elaborate on the situation, but I don't know. It definitely seems
That's a
like
shot.
it's not a quality issue, and he's trying to blow it off because Aston Martin is unaffected. They're still getting all their V8s.
Well,
Like-
but has Aston been known for their quality?
But it's a Mercedes product, so
No,
they want,
I know,
like if they're
but
worried about quality,
guess
so
I
much,
wonder-
they're not going to keep producing the V8.
Something seems strange with
They
that
can't
whole.
sell their own V8s, but somebody else can sell their V8. That doesn't make
Something
any
seems strange with that whole thing. Like who's making the V8s?
sense.
I mean,
Benz
it's got their badge on it, but what?
I think
So
they are making the V8s.
Would you point internally and saying our quality stinks, so we're not going to make it anymore? Like, that seems like a jab to somebody who's supplying them. You know what I mean?
think so?
I don't know enough about it.
I don't think
but
somebody. I
but
actually
something
genuinely
just-
think they make their own. Like I'm pretty sure they do.
It seems strange that he would call that out. You own the result of your quality,
Yeah.
right? It's not. I mean, unless they're having issue getting quality parts to produce it,
There's some
right?
there's
Because they're
something,
not they're not making every single part by hand, right? So maybe that's what it is they're having trouble getting quality parts to make the engine they want. That's probably what it is, and didn't come out the right
Probably.
way. But okay. Anyways, can we look at this for just one more second? Because
so
my mouth is
awesome.
like watering. I
It's
love that
beautiful.
car.
And that like Tic Tac orange
It's
is awesome. I love that thing. Now, I know you're gonna be excited about this one.
Okay.
We finally get a first look at the 2023 Chevy Corvette Z06 completely uncovered.
Good.
The Vet comes with a 5.5 liter flat plane crank V8 that is expected to rev around 8,500 to 9,000 RPM, making over 600 horsepower, and use an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. The previewed photo here is a base Z06, not featuring any of the aggressive aerodynamic features from the track-focused Z07 performance package. The full debut is coming October 26th. The front end, I like a lot more.
So
It's subtle, but it's good.
that's the only thing I'm thinking here is it is subtle, all of it.
And it's good.
It doesn't stand out like, oh wow, that's the Z06.
Oh, it's also,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, agree.
Like the current
not
the
enough.
the C7, the Z06.
they're
You're
probably-
like, whoa.
They're probably trying to sell that,
That thing's
Z07 aerodynamics package.
I suppose, but it's still a Z06, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, anybody at Chevy listening, if you haven't already done it, figure out a way to get it to 9,000 because that will help you continue. No, seriously, they between 8,500 and 9,000 on the RPM range.
we gotta get to 9.
If you can get to 9, then now you're in the same league as some of the other GT cars, right? Like the GT3, right? That screams the 9 and everybody loves because it gets the 9. You know, the Ferraris of the world, they get the 9. So yeah, that would be awesome if they could figure out a way to get it there. I mean, 8,500, that's still outstanding.
Oh
right?
yeah.
So
cool.
And it's going to scream coming from that engine.
Fantastic.
I would like to see it more extreme though. Like,
Agreed, 100%. Because like if you think of like somebody who's not like we could pick that apart in a second. Oh, that's Z06.
Yep.
Just because we look at cars all day long.
Yeah.
But like somebody who's maybe not, who's into cars but not super, or like a general consumer, they're not gonna know the difference at all.
Right.
And be like, what's the difference here? I don't understand.
It's very subtle. Yeah. It
Agreed.
needs to be for a Z06. It should have been a little more extreme.
I want to see
bigger
that
wing
performance package.
Yes, true.
That's what I want to see.
But the Z06 is the performance package. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
yes,
I know
but
there's like
they're probably trying to drag it out.
I suppose
That's my guess.
it should come with the Z06. You know what I mean?
I think so.
Like you can get the
personally.
performance package on the other car, but then by the way, the Z06 it comes standard.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's just
100%.
wicked. But yeah, cool.
All right. Acura has given us a teaser and more information on the new Integra. So, of course, we saw this image, and now we know the 2023 Acura Integra will be a swoopy 4-door hatchback. Acura hasn't completely ruled out the possibility of a 2-door version either, but this makes more sense for where they plan to compete, which is against vehicles like the Audi A3, Mercedes A-Class, and CLA Class, etc. The Integra is scheduled to debut in 2022.
It's got some sleek lines.
I'm very intrigued
I want to see it.
by this.
I want to see it.
It's going to be cool. Now this is an electric car that makes sense to me. I can't think of a better application for electric vehicles than this. Rolls-Royce is joining the electric game with the RollsRoyce Spectre. With their recent announcement for their lineups to be fully electric by 2023, this is no surprise. They have given us little details about the vehicle coming on sale in 2023, simply teasing it with a few images of the prototype showing a coupe with rear hinge doors, of course. The prototype road driving is about to begin, and the cars will cover 1.5 million miles of testing around the world before the vehicle launches. This is about all they gave us as far as details go, but this makes so much sense to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, a premium luxury car like this,
Like
you want it
where
to
the
be
whole
quiet.
goal is
you
quiet.
Want it, yeah. A nice, smooth ride. Those things are always very, very heavy, so you need a ton of power to move them, and obviously electric provides that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you're spot on, man.
Fantastic. I love that on the front. When it does not exist, design it.
That's
It's cool. I mean, it's just a cool car. Now, last but not least, the 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee has been revealed. The Jeep gets a pretty substantial redesign when compared to the previous model year, going for a much more updated look in the front and rear with the option of a 2-row or a 3-row model. Can I just say, I love the look of this way more than the previous Cherokee.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It looks good.
Yep.
So the lineup gets expanded as well, with Jeep also now offering the 4xe plug-in hybrid variant as an option. The hybrid features a 375 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque from a turbocharged 2-liter inline-4 and 2 electric motors. The non-hybrid gets a 3.6-liter V6, making 293 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. There's also a 5.7-liter V8 producing 357 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque. The trim levels go Laredo, Limited, Trailhawk, Overland, and Summit. The broad lineup encompasses tons of different materials and features, with the Laredo being the base and the Summit being the most luxurious. This is also just a cool shot.
Yeah,
that's one thing I've noticed about Jeep. The pictures they take are fantastic because they're always in the mountains and things like crawling up rocks and stuff. The Grand Cherokee,
staying true to their heritage, right?
Exactly. So then the Grand Cherokee also comes with many driver assistance features as standard equipment and cool options like a 360-degree camera system, drowsy driver detection, and a night vision camera.
Okay.
The 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee goes on sale in the U.S. later this year. Wow. Look at the interior on this. This has to be the Summit, I'm guessing, just because of the materials. But Jeep has stepped up their game hard on the interiors.
You know, the one I didn't hear you mention on the trim packages was the Trackhawk.
You are correct. I did not mention it because it has not been revealed or released. I really hope they do because I love the Trackhawk.
I don't know, but that's
about.
cool.
I actually am very happy with their screen
They did
integration.
a nice
here.
job with that. Yeah.
Because even though they kind of still tacked it on, they still
it's molded
float it
in. Yeah.
from like
Yeah,
the
it's
front to
molded
the
in.
bottom. Like it looks good.
Yep. And
Well-
did you see that there's a separate screen off to the
Yes.
side for the passenger? And
Which
like,
I
that's,
love that, especially for stuff like navigation.
You see
That's
that
a
on
good idea.
You see that on much higher end.
How
things,
many times
so.
have we been driving? You're like, hey, can you plot the GPS to this? And I
Right.
gotta lean
Yeah.
over and try. Instead, have screen right in front of you. It'd be fantastic. So with that is it for today's episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check us out on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at AnthonyCIFAL. With that, you have an excellent rest of your week.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us for a bit, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace out.